Hello everyone. It is my day off and I am on my way to meet my friend in Belmont. I haven't been there. It's in the Bay Area. It's not too far from where I live, but somehow I haven't been there. We're heading to have sushi because I've been wanting to get omakase, and I don't know if we're getting omakase, but anywho, I'm on my way there and I'm driving on Highway 101, which is pretty crazy for, of course, like a work day. It's always busy here, but traffic is flowing and moving smoothly. But as you can see, people drive here really fast in California. The one thing that I noticed though about California drivers is that they drive really fast, but they're not really the smartest drivers in my opinion. They're not so great at like maneuvering tight roads and tight traffic, and they're just pretty much like fast drivers. I believe owing to the fact that they have really big highways and a lot of major highways here that make it easy to drive fast, and the lanes are pretty big, pretty wide compared to say the FDR Drive in New York, where it only has I think 2 lanes each way, 3 the most, and it's pretty narrow, and it's a bit windy, and also like I think the bigger challenge is just the narrowness of the highway, and it's in Manhattan, but it's by the river on the east, by the East River, so like pretty narrow, as you can imagine Manhattan to be. But yeah, I wanted to make mention, and I haven't brought this up on whatchamacallit yet on my YouTube channel. On Sunday, we got into a road, like not us, but we were a victim of a road rage in one of the towns here. I just don't want to mention anymore because I'm kind of still worried about possible retaliation, because we had called the cops. We were pulling into a strip mall, and of course we haven't been to that town, so we were trying to figure out where that place that we needed to go to was at. And somehow this car from behind us honks, and mind you, this was at a parking lot at a strip mall, right? And this car from behind us honks really loud and just like decides to cut us off, and then makes a left where we were also gonna go. We figured out that we needed to go left, but anyway, this guy honks, cuts us off, flips the bird, and then just we of course like said like, hey, rolled down our window and said like, hey, what's the big deal? This is a it's a parking lot. And then he still continued to flip the bird, and we just like he was still flipping the bird, and we were like, what's the big deal? And of course, from inside the car, like the windows were mostly closed, but inside the car I was also like recording all this, and at the same time like saying like, like, just relax, we're in a parking lot. Although I don't think he could hear me because we were quite a bit of a distance. But this guy decides to come out of his, like, while flipping the bird, because I guess like flipping his middle finger, because I guess he was still like, he was still like half his head was out. He decided that he wanted to come out and attack us, or I don't know, because he was really aggravated and he was really agitated. So he decides to come out from his car through his window, and then I told my husband like, just drive. But instead of stopping, this guy just decided to like get back into his car, and then started to chase us around the parking lot and outside and into like and we had like left the parking lot, but it was like a really intense road rage and car chase that we were like in a real car chase like that you see in the movies, and we were trying to avoid him like inside the parking lot. Thank God for Sunday it was not quite busy and it wasn't quite crowded. And then this guy just like decided to like whenever we make a right turn to go leave, like he would ambush us, he would make a U-turn and then like block us. And it just, that went on for like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, time went by so fast that I just I couldn't even like remember how long it felt like eternity, but it probably wasn't. But this guy just went on, and then we finally decided to like leave the parking lot and go into the main road. And I thought the guy had left us already and backed off, but apparently he did not. And he decided to take us in another car chase on the main road, which was a busier road in that town that we were at. And then we made this turn, and at that point I already decided to call 911 because I figured John and my husband and I figured like it was getting out of hand. And then I had called 911, and 911 of course kept on asking me like, where are you, like stop talking, like tell me where you are. But I'm like, I don't know where I am, I'm trying to figure out what street we're at, because like we don't live in this place. And that went on and on too with the 911 operator. But eventually like the lady said like, just stay in where you are. I told her the street, stay where you are. And I said, but yeah, the car is still with us, like just the car is still like chasing us. And she's like, just stop. And I said, no, I can't stop because this car is still like ready to ram us. And so finally like we ended up getting into a cul-de-sac where I seriously thought that was the end of us. It was intense, and I was thinking to myself like, okay, this is the part where we die, or our car gets really badly damaged because it's gonna ram us. Although I did figure early on that he probably didn't have a gun, because otherwise he would have already pulled it. But I was just also worried at the same time that he was going to call for reinforcement. A lot of things went on in my head. And then finally, like when we hit that cul-de-sac, and if you know cul-de-sac, it's pretty much like a dead end. It was residential area, but somehow for a Sunday afternoon also, there weren't a lot of like people there. But so we like got there, and just like somehow something in that guy, I don't know what happened. It's either he thought that we live in that area and we might have called for reinforcement, or that his angel just like finally like talked to him like and told him to calm down, or I don't know, some kind of divine intervention made him like retract and then just make a U-turn and leave. But in the end, we met up with the cops who were, still in the area. I was still with 911 at that time. And so what happened was like they just, they took her, they didn't really take her statement. They look at like the video that I took. And all they can say is that because there are, Chuck's Donuts, you guys. We're in Belmont already. But because there was no injury to ourselves, then they can't really like file a police report or anything like that, which sucks. Or maybe they can't do anything about it or chase the guy because there was no damage to property, which is quite unfortunate in my opinion. But anyway, that's what happened. And then the cops ended up like escorting us back to like where we needed to go that afternoon. But moral of the story is, I guess something as benign as like honking or reacting while someone is like in a fit of road rage these days is just like something that you have to watch out for. It's getting out of hand in my opinion. Like people, I was told after this that apparently some people carry guns in their cars and actually like start shooting people in the middle of traffic. So that's really something that we should all be like in the lookout for, because times are different now. People get into this like massive crazy road rage, and you know what, is it really worth it? I can't say that it is worth it, because it, to me, as like, what is going on, as a sane person, I don't think it is worth it. But for some people, I guess it is worth it to go on a road rage and hurt people, or potentially like hurt people in the process. Yeah, we just really need to be careful because we never know anymore. And yeah, so that's my story for the day about this incident over the weekend, and I hope we can all learn from this. Ciao.